Hello, everybody. Good afternoon or good morning, good evening, wherever you may be watching this, or if you're actually watching the recording. Thank you for watching the recording for growing your kitchen and bath remodel business remotely. This is April 22nd, 2020. We are looking at how to grow your business in the era of the coronavirus. Okay. So let's get started. So, what we're going to talk about and what we're going to cover, we're going to start by seeing who is Jason Lockhart? Who am I? Who is the person moderating this for today? Learn more about me. Then I'm going to talk about why I'm doing this webinar because I've been asked by a few clients and I'm going to get into why they asked me to do this. And then we're going to talk about some marketing tips and how you can market now, even in this age of the coronavirus. And then we're going to end with next steps. So to begin, who am I? So I'm Jason Lockhart, have over 20 years experience in architecture, interior design, and other areas. I've taught at the college level for over 10 years. I taught at Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and also Louisiana State University. And I taught in the architecture and interior design program. I have over 10 years experience in marketing. My team has over 20 years experience in marketing. We have clients in this industry. So with my experience with being in this industry for over 20 years, my team with having over 20 years marketing experience, we combine all that to be in a unique position where we're just not marketers or designers, but we're both. So why this webinar? A lot of the clients that I have and others I have talked to, they've told me how the coronavirus has impacted their business. And one of the questions I've been asked over and over is, should they advertise or market in this current climate? And my answer to them was unequivocally yes. One of the reasons they had wanted me to put on this webinar today, there was some tips that I handed out to a few of them that has worked. And so they said that this needs to be the topic for this month, which we had another topic, but we had changed it because of the times. And we know right now this information is actually relevant to what's happening in society today right now. So marketing tip number one, the first thing I have to emphasize is that you need to communicate with empathy. If you have not reached out to your market as of now, like I said, it's April and we've been in the quarantine over a month now. This all began here in the Texas area around mid-March. So if you have not reached out to your clientele, you need to do so immediately. You want to see how they're doing as people. Remember, people do business with people. For your prospects, they're not going to want to work with you unless they know you care. So when you reach out to your clients, ask them how they're doing, how their family is doing. Kids are at home, working from home if they are still working, but they're working from home. It's a lot going on right now. So you just want to check on them and see how they're doing before you talk about any business. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the 80-20 rule, which I'm huge and big on the 80-20 rule. So you need to make sure that you incorporate that. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the next slide. Well, on this one right here, provide valuable, reliable information. So you want to make sure any type of information you get out to your lists, to your current clients, to your prospects is 80% value based, 20% self-promotion. And right now, I would almost say 90-10 right now, because environment we're in right now, providing good, valuable information is critical. There's a lot of bad information out there, especially on social media. I've actually heard from one of my clients that picked up a client. They actually had a prospect on their list that already had a kitchen designer lined up to do their remodel, but they had not heard from that designer at all. So my client reached out to the prospect, checked on them to see how they were doing, gave them some information about what's happening now in the industry, price points, and some other valuable information. And the prospect told them, you were on my lists. I didn't even think about you at the time because I already had somebody to design my remodel. But the fact that you reached out to me, you cared and asked about how I was doing and provided me this information, I'm about to hang up and call them right now and let them know that I have a new kitchen designer that will remodel my kitchen once all this is over. So that's just a small example of getting out this information on how it can really have an impact right now. And remember, 80-20 rule, if not, like I'm saying right now, 90-10. You want to also, when you reach out to your clients and to your prospects, you want to talk about your action plan. So you want to have a plan of action of how you're going to move forward after all this is over. We all know this will not last forever, and once this is all over, we don't know what the new normal will be. But you want to meet with your team and have a plan of action in place. So once this ends, you have a direction that you can tell your clientele that this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do next. This is what we're doing now. And this is what we're going to do once this is all over. You want to share that pertinent information, that valuable information that you have, your plan of action. You want to have that on your website, have it as a pop-up. This is actually one of the clients. They explain to their clients that we're going to take all the necessary precautions, making sure all of the areas that we interact with are all sanitized, that we leave your area clean, that everybody that works on your project will have all of the necessary equipment. They'll have on masks, they'll have on gloves. If they're sick, they will not come in because we check their temperature on a daily basis. So they explained all of this. They had this on their website. They explained this in the email. They called each of their clients that they're in their home to let them know. And that put their mind at ease. So they were able to hold on to some projects that would have been on hold if they had not have explained what was those next steps. We had some information on how they're going to abide by the regulations that are happening now and so forth. At the end of this webinar, I'll show you how you can get your hands on this information. Tip number 2, utilize content, marketing, email, and blogs. I can tell you this is untapped potential. If you are a kitchen and bath remodel business and you've had any business, you should have some type of list. You should have some emails from past clients and current clients. And so with that, you have opportunities to get either new business or referrals. So there's untapped potential there. Example, one of the clients we have is an interior designer, and she was not consistently doing email marketing. Before she hired us, she did email marketing here and there sporadically. But when she hired us, we emphasized to her about the importance of doing email marketing. She was like, not something I really want to do. But I said, okay. I said, well, that's a part of what we're going to do for you. And so she was like, okay. Over the last 6 months, even as of March, every time we've sent a newsletter out, monthly newsletter on her behalf, she's received a job, either directly from the client or from a referral. And that's all from her list because she's been in business for over 15 years. So she has a large list that she has not been utilizing. But that's untapped potential that if you're not emailing them on at least a monthly basis with a newsletter to let them know what's happening. And now you can have the newsletter go out explaining about COVID-19 information that will help your clients. So you can have tips in there, DIY on how they can make the space larger, add color to the room, small things that they can do right now. That's what you want to email out in a newsletter to your clientele, to your prospects, just to give them some valuable information because they're in their home all of the time right now. So to be able to make that space more pleasing to the eye is what they want to hear from you. Those small tips will help to keep you top of mind. Like I said, providing valuable information. You want to talk about your action plan. So what is your plan right now? And then what is your plan once this ends? Getting this out to your prospects and to your clients, you're putting in the back of their mind that you're a leader, that you're not just following, listening to all of the negativity that's happening in the news right now, but you're actually a leader and you actually have a plan in place for what's happening right now and what is to follow. And that is inspiring and that can get you current and future customers and referrals. So just by being top of mind right now it helps. And that helps to keep your clients informed on what's going on right now. And like I said, keeps you top of mind, because the one thing that you want to do now is stay top of mind. So we have a marketing plan guide here that we've let some of our clients have access to, and we want to share this with the larger community. So if you want to have access to this, like I said, at the end of the webinar, I'm going to let you know how to get your hands on these documents. And this marketing plan here just gives you some insight on some typical questions and answers that you can ask yourself and your team to help you develop your plan of action right now and going forward. Tip number 3, connect with your audience on social media. Your audience right now is at home and they are captive, either working at home, working with their kids on schoolwork, or they're just bored. And so you have a captive audience right now that you need to capitalize on. So if you have not been using social media, now is your time to do so. Facebook is an excellent way to obtain targeted traffic. Instagram and Pinterest, great for visual. As a designer myself, being in the design industry, I advise all of my clients that you need to be marketing or advertising on one of these platforms, if not both. They're great for visuals. You can easily tell a story through your visuals. One of the ways that one of my clients is utilizing this, some of their past projects, they have before and after images. So they're able to show the before and then the after pictures, but along with that, explain what went right with the project, what went wrong, what they learned, and what they would do different in the future. If they were on time and on budget, they emphasize that because that's big in this industry, to be on time and under budget. So they emphasize that, and they told their story in a slideshow. They just used PowerPoint and they did a voiceover and just explained it, and did Facebook story and an Instagram story, and they got a lot of likes and views from that. And so that right there, which won't take you a whole lot of time to do, but that just helps to build your brand, put you top of mind in front of your prospects. LinkedIn is a great professional networking tool. A lot of the suppliers and manufacturers right now, they are easier to catch up with, because I know a lot of the people I've been wanting to network with that I was not able to catch earlier, I'm able to catch now. If there are some suppliers or there's some manufacturers that you either wanted to work with, recommend their products, or just network with, now is the time to reach out to them. More likely than not, they are at home as well, or they are quarantined, easier to access now than they were in the past. YouTube. Videos are a hot seller right now. If you did not know, YouTube is the second search engine after Google. People want to see videos for everything under the sun. They would rather see a video about a topic than read about a topic. So if you're not utilizing video within your marketing, you're dropping the ball. So you want to make sure you integrate YouTube into your marketing, and that's a great way for you to tell your story. So like I had talked about earlier with the Instagram and the Pinterest, I also told the client that I have that did that PowerPoint and did the voiceover, put that on YouTube as well. He received some views from that. That may turn into some prospects in the future, but what that has, and that's evergreen content that's always out there. So what you put out now is all about brand building and getting your information out to the larger audience. It may not be now, it may be in the future, but getting that out there is important. So some tips that you want to utilize. Facebook groups are powerful. One of the main groups that I have my clients join is the moms group of whatever. So if you're in Miami, there's a moms group of Miami, or if you're in Dallas, there's a Dallas moms group. So wherever city you're in, there's a moms Facebook group for that area. What actually happens on these groups is that they talk about the different services, and then they recommend and refer from those groups. Because I've actually had clients have been in these groups, and I tell them, don't just take, but give. When you're in the group, be social, talk to people, offer suggestions, and then what end up happening over time, So somebody in the group said, I need to have my kitchen remodeled. Is there anybody in the group that can help with that or that can refer me? And even though my client was not online at the time, they had given out so much information or just being social in that group that 3 or 4 people immediately recommended and said, XYZ is in this group. Great interior designer. This is somebody that you want to look at. She would design your house. Look at her website. Look at her page here. Does great work. And so just from being in that group, she has received 2 to 3 referral jobs just from that group alone. So being in those groups is valuable. Facebook ads, I'm going to talk a little bit about that on the next slide. Before and afters, I had talked about that. Looking at your past projects, doing before and after images is a great way to tell your story. Like I said, incorporate video into everything that you do because video is hot. That's where it's at right now. So you want to make sure to have video in your repertoire. And following experts. On Instagram, like I had explained, you want to have a presence on Instagram. These are the top interior designers on Instagram for 2020. So you want to look at each of these channels right here to see what they have to offer, how they are actually promoting and marketing to their group to give you some ideas on what you could do on your end. Now, the Facebook ad grant, I had talked about this in the last slide, but if you are not running Facebook ads, what you do want to do right now is you want to apply for this grant. This grant is not open for everybody, but some of the requirements are you have to be a for-profit business, which most of the people that I work with are. You have to be in between 2 and 50 employees. You have to have been in business for over a year. You have to have experienced some type of challenge during the coronavirus, and you have to be near where Facebook operates. So there's a list of about 20 locations where Facebook is located. Most of them are major metropolitan areas, but if you are located in these areas or if you market to any of these areas. So if you're not, for instance, if you're not in the Chicago area, but if you're in a nearby city, but you market to Chicago residents, you want to apply for this grant because it only takes 15 to 20 minutes to fill out the paperwork and it's all online. But at worst, you may have spent 15 to 20 minutes filling out the paperwork, but at best, you can get some free money to market to potential prospects and potential clients. So I implore you to apply. I have all of my clients, they've applied or I've applied on their behalf. We haven't heard anything yet, but this is a great way. And there's also a Google grant as well. Now, there's a little more stipulations on that. The application for that, if you're interested, let me know. I can actually get that to you, but they also have a grant as well that's happening. Tip 4, offer free resources and ongoing support. As I've been stating over and over again, share reliable information. 80-20 rule, like I said, 80% value, 20% self-promotion. And if you need help with that, like I said, we've developed, vetted, and done all of the work on. So you just got to change up the wording to your specific locale and then get it out to your prospects. Offering discounts to your services. I know from a design standpoint, most of the design work now can be done online. So you don't have to be at someone's home. So in the beginning phases of a remodel, you can do a lot of the design work. If you have them do a lot of the measurements and all that from home and send that to you, you could do a lot of that design work from your home, share with them either on Zoom or GoToMeeting. There's a number of platforms out there that you could do these online meetings with. E-design right now is big. I don't know if that's an offer, if that's a service that you want to offer or not, but those type of design services you can do now, and you can offer that to your prospects and your clientele, even in this environment. You want to get involved in your local community. Like they say, if you help enough people, you're going to get what you want. So giving back and helping out is just a good thing to do. So now what? Next steps. You want to give your clients hope. telling your prospects and your clients about your plan of action, how you're going to address what's happening now and what's your plan for the future. Look to network where possible. Like I said, any manufacturers, any suppliers right now that you wanted to connect with or do business with, now's the time to reach out to them because it's easier for you to get in front of them, make connections, start talking to them, get to know them. And when all this is over, you may have a good partnership that can carry you on for years, decades. So develop those partnerships now. Develop your comeback plan. Like I said, the new normal. We have no idea what that new normal is. Anybody that tells you that they know what it's going to look like when this is all over, don't believe them. Nobody knows what will happen once this is all over. But what you can do now is meet with your team. Talk about what are some services that we offer now that we may be able to offer online. Look at doing e-design. Is e-design right for your company? What is e-design? Look into that to see if that's a service that you may want to offer. So just meet with your team and look at your current service offerings to see if there's anything that you may want to tweak to enhance. So when that you may be able to offer now, but then when this is all over, whatever that new normal looks like, you'll have new services that you can get out there to the masses that you may be able to market to not only your locale, but to beyond that, because with services like e-design, you don't have to be in the same city as the prospect or as the client. You can do that from anywhere as long as they have internet access. So look at your plan and what that comeback plan will look like, what the plan now looks like, what the plan in the future looks like. I cannot stress enough, enjoy time with your family. We don't know how long this will last, but while we are in this situation, you want to make sure that you appreciate them and you want to spend that quality time with them now that you have the time to spend with them. Because I was told this, I forgot who told me this or where I heard this from, but I was told that your kids and your family will remember how much time you spent with them, not how much money you spent on them. So you want to make sure to spend that time with them now, since you have the time to spend with them now, because you don't know how long it's going to last and you don't know what will happen after this. Just a little tidbit that happened to me. I actually have two daughters, and one of them I've been helping her out with her homework because she's learning how to read. One day I was helping her and she was getting frustrated because she was having a hard time picking up on the words, and she was crying and she was upset. So I said, all right, let's take a break. So one of the other assignments that the teacher had her do was to shoot a video to explain how she feels right now. I took her school iPad, shot the video, asked her the question that the teacher wanted me to ask. Okay, so how do you feel right now? That's what I asked. And she said, I feel great. And I had a follow-up question. I said, why do you feel so great? Why are you so happy right now? And she said, because I'm able to spend quality time with my dad and I love it. And you know, right when she said that, that brought a tear to my eye. I was like, wow, you know, that frustration that we had a half hour later with having a hard time reading and her getting mad and all of that, it just helped me put everything into perspective. That at the end of the day, family is what matters. That's what matters most. Now, all these marketing tips will help you out, but remember, spending that quality time with family, because you have to remember, what are you doing all this for? Most of us, like myself, are in this because we wanted to be in a better position to spend more time with our family. Now that we have that time, we want to make sure to utilize that wisely, okay? Now, the resources that I've actually talked about on this webinar can be found on our website at kitchenandbathmarketingsolutions.com/COVID-19. So again, that's kitchenandbathmarketingsolutions.com/COVID-19. There, you're going to find a resource guide that we developed that's 8 pages. That's all it has. SBA loans and a lot of the programs that they have right now, industry news, we have in there marketing tips, even beyond what we had talked about today. We even have in there, if you haven't ever worked remotely, some of the tools that you may be able to use right now. Then we also have on there the marketing plan. is just some information to help get you and your company up to speed on some marketing that you can do now to your prospects and to your clients, and things that you want to talk about with your team for now and going forward. How do you get out of this place and how do you move to that next level? And you can also visit our website for more information at Kitchen and Bath Marketing Solutions.com, and we'll be happy to help you however we can. Like I said, I've been hearing from a lot of prospects that we've had that are not our clients that we've been helping out, because right now it's all about giving back and helping where we can. So if there's any way that we can help you, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. One question I have from Jack in Iowa, he's asking, how can we get access to this information? Okay, again, Kitchen and Bath Marketing Solutions.com/COVID-19. All right. I think that's all of the questions that we have for now. So the next webinar will be Wednesday, May 20th at 1 p.m. Eastern, and we will be talking about how to organize your kitchen and bath business. A lot of the clients I work with, they said one of the things that they have been great at is the design part, but one of the things I've actually helped them with is the business part, getting organized and being more efficient with their time. What happens is that a lot of tasks that we have to do just as business owners or marketing managers, a lot of mundane and repetitive tasks that we have to do. But when we have systems in place, it helps maximize our time and it makes us more efficient in the things that we do, so we could spend more time doing the things that we want and love to do and less time on the things that we don't want to do. And so we could spend more time as business owners doing more money-making activities, less time in the busy work that we have to do, but we have systems in place to automate a lot of that. So that's what we're going to be talking about next month. So if you are not organized, or if you know anybody that needs to get more organized, have them on this webinar, because we're going to talk about some tricks and tips to help them systematize a lot of the mundane tasks and be more organized and efficient in the things that they do. I thank you for being on this webinar. I hope you learned something. Like I said, if you want to have access to any of the resources that we have, reach out to us at Kitchen and Bath Marketing Solutions.com, or you can also type in the acronyms KABMS.com, and that will forward to our domain name. Reach out to us to see how we can help you. I thank you for being on this webinar today. Hope to see you next month, and stay safe. I wish you and your family health and prosperity through all of this. Have a good week.